special book called the Bible. And the Bible is a book that came down to us from all sorts of people that God had write the story about. And it's a true story. It's God's love letter to us. And it tells us that a long time ago in Israel, there was a king, Herod, and he made a law up. Just like that. He said, I need more taxes. And I want more money. So I want everybody to go to where their family comes from, and I want them to register and pay taxes to me. So everybody had to do it because he was the king. So everybody did it. And Joseph and Mary, they had to go too. Joseph went because he was from Israel, from Bethlehem, and Mary went with him because she was from Bethlehem too. And but it was kind of different for them. There was just like all sorts of people going and stuff, and they're all going. But Mary was pregnant, and she was about ready to have a baby, just like your mama.
How does her body feel, guys?
Oh, how does she feel?
Terrible.
Oh man, to get on a donkey and go for miles and miles and miles. Oh, she couldn't get in a nice car and lay down in the back and stretch out. She was riding on a donkey. Oh, and everybody else got there faster than they did because she was so tired. She'd say, oh, Joseph, can we stop for just a little bit? I'm so tired. I'm so worn out. And everybody got to town first, and they got to town very late. And so the streets were bare, and there was nobody there. And they go in and see if they can find a place. And the innkeeper comes out, and they all say, sorry, I haven't got any room in my place. You'll have to go someplace else. And they go someplace else and say, sorry, haven't got any room, have to go someplace else. Oh my, and finally, somebody said, okay, well, I haven't got any place, but back in the stable where all the animals are sleeping, if you're really desperate, I suppose you could go back there. And so they went back there. Oh, let's talk about something else before they get there. Let's leave them, because something else was happening at the same time. There were shepherds, and it was dark, and they were out in the fields, and they were living out there because the sheep had to have stuff to eat, and what the sheep eat is grass. And so they were all out in the fields, and they were feeding their sheep grass and stuff, and all of a sudden, they saw an angel. And the angel said, something special is happening tonight. There's a baby Jesus being born. And he's going to make it so that he can take away all the sins of everybody in the world. You've been waiting for him for years and years and years, ever since Adam and Eve. And he's being born tonight. And then all of a sudden, there was a whole host of angels singing and saying, praise be to God, because Jesus is born tonight in the city of Bethlehem, and you'll find him all wrapped up in cloth, really tight swaddling clothes, blanket, and he was lying in a manger. So they said, oh, and then the angel left. So they said, we gotta go and find out what's going on. Let's go check it out. So they did. They went, and they saw there was Mary and Joseph in a stable, and there was a baby Jesus in a manger. Jesus was born. And so they went, and they said, wow, this is so exciting. There's baby Jesus, and he's going to take away all of our sins. And he's going to forgive us, and he's going to make things right between us and God. And that is like so cool. We have to go tell everybody. So they went out and they told everybody in the town how exciting it was. And they were all excited. And Mary she kind of held those things in her heart. And she said, oh, my baby Jesus is so special. He's so special. He's going to take away all the sins, and he's going to deliver us from our sins. And something else was happening. A long ways away, there were some wise men, and they were watching the stars at night. And when they were watching the stars at night, they started to notice that there was a special star up in the sky, and they said, oh, that's the king star. There's a star that's a king star, and the star comes out when there's going to be a very, very important king being born. And they said, we have to follow the star and find out where the baby king is. So they got on their camels, and for 2 years they followed the star. For 2 long years, every night, they'd get up and they'd follow the star. And then in the daytime, they'd rest in a hotel or somewhere, I don't know where. And they'd get up at night, because that's when the star came out. And they'd follow the star. And they followed it for 2 long years.
Stop rain.
And finally, they came to Jerusalem. And they said, in Jerusalem, that's where the kings are of Israel. So it must be that the new baby king is in Israel. We have to go. And so they went to Herod and they said, we've been following a star. And the star tells us that there's a king that's going to be born. And so we've been following the star. And so, but we don't know exactly where it is now, but we figured that it must be here, because this is the capital. And Herod said, He called all of his wise men, and he said, can you tell us where the new king, Messiah, is supposed to be born? These guys aren't sticking. And he said, they said, well, according to the prophecies that tell us what God says things are going to happen, the baby is supposed to be born in Bethlehem. So they said, oh, good. Now we know where to go. And then King Herod said something else. He went to him and he said, I have a secret. When you find the baby Jesus, come and tell me, and I want to worship him too. Okay? And they said, okay, we'll do that. And so he let them go, and they went out, and they started again. And this time they headed toward Bethlehem instead of Jerusalem, and they followed the star, and sure enough, it came out again, and they followed it to a house. Mary and Joseph weren't in the stable anymore. They'd gone into a house, and they were living in a little house. And the star came, and it was landed just over the house. And so they came to the house, and they knocked on the door, and they said, there's a star that we've been following, and we followed it right to here. And so we think that there's a king in here. And they told him about baby Jesus. And sure enough, he was the Messiah king. He told him the secret that he was born, and his mom was a virgin. And that means she was pregnant before she had a husband. But he was really special. So they went to sleep that night, and they gave him all sorts of gifts. They bowed down and they worshiped him, and they gave him all sorts of gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. Gold, you know what gold is? Frankincense and myrrh are actually spices that are very, very expensive, and they actually put them on people's bodies when they die so that they don't stink. That's a funny thing to give somebody like a king when he's born, but that's what they gave him.